Have you ever noticed how meticulously we plan our food diets? We count calories, we banish carbs, we drink green sludge that tastes like a freshly mowed lawn, all in the name of physical health. Yet when it comes to our minds, we let them feast at an all-you-can-eat buffet of pure junk. We serve up heaping portions of worry for breakfast, snack on bite-sized anxieties all day, and for dinner, we have a 3-course meal of "I can't afford it," "It's not for me," and "What if it all goes wrong?" You know that voice? It's that nagging inner accountant who's always auditing your joy, forever reminding you of a budget you never agreed to. It's a constant, humming frequency of lack that becomes so normal you don't even realize you're living in a mental ghetto, surrounded by walls built from your own limiting beliefs. Well, today, we are officially posting an eviction notice on those thoughts. We're going to explore this by bringing two absolute titans of consciousness together. We will unite the profound, internal discipline of Neville Goddard with the glorious, unapologetic boldness of Reverend Ike. We'll see how Neville's strategy of a strict mental diet is the master key, the precise tool you need to maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And we'll use Reverend Ike's fiery wisdom to provide the urgent motivation to get out of that poverty consciousness for good. This isn't just another manifestation technique. It's a deep, transformative shift. Because true prosperity isn't a divided state where you think one thing and feel another. It is a unified state of being, a seamless fusion of mind and feeling, where your inner world is so saturated with the feeling of wealth that your outer world has no choice but to follow suit. So let's get right into the nuts and bolts of why this happens, why this internal state of lack feels so stubbornly real. The cause of the problem is actually hilarious when you see it clearly. Your imagination is God in action. It's the creative engine of the entire cosmos, and it's housed right between your ears. Now, the funny part is that this engine is always on. It has no off switch. It is constantly building your reality based on the blueprints you feed it with your feelings and assumptions. Most of us treat this divine creative power like a cosmic suggestion box that's overflowing with complaints. We spend our days meticulously writing out detailed descriptions of what we don't have. We think there's never enough money, and our imagination, in its infinite and non-judgmental obedience, says, "You got it, boss," and immediately begins constructing a world where there is, in fact, never enough money. We feel the anxiety of an upcoming bill, and our imagination says, "Oh, you love this feeling? Let's make it bigger," and it happily projects that feeling onto the screen of space. You are a master creator, you just have a terrible habit of creating magnificent, detailed portraits of poverty. This is precisely what Reverend Ike was roaring about from his pulpit. This mismanaged imagination, this inner world cluttered with blueprints for lack and limitation, is the mental ghetto. Neville would say you are perpetually living in the end of destitution. Ike would say you're refusing to move out of the ghetto in your mind. They are saying the exact same thing. One is the quiet mystic, the other is the fabulous showman. But both agree. Your address in the outer world is determined by your zip code in the inner world. You cannot experience a Beverly Hills life while maintaining a mental address in the slums of I can't. So how do we move? We play a game. The moment you catch yourself imagining the worst, the moment that inner accountant starts reading you a list of your deficits, you don't fight it. You simply revise it. You treat that negative thought like a movie director treats a bad take. You just yell "cut" in your mind and reshoot the scene. Did you just imagine an empty bank account? Cut. Reshoot it with the balance you desire. See it in your mind's eye. Feel the quiet satisfaction of it. Did you just have a fearful conversation with someone in your head? Cut. Redo the dialogue so it ends with a joyful, loving resolution. You're not lying to yourself. You are simply choosing which take to approve for final production. If this little director's game is already giving you a sense of your own power, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. And be sure to subscribe, because we are just getting started on this banquet. This simple act of revision is your first step toward living in the end, toward making your desired state of wealth feel more natural than your old, tired stories of lack. Now let's be clear. Playing the director in the quiet theater of your mind is a fantastic start, but it's only half the performance. You can't spend all day imagining yourself as a millionaire and then walk out into the world with the posture of a professional apology. That's like dressing a king in the finest robes and then having him ask permission to sit on his own throne. It just doesn't compute. This is where the glorious diamond ring on every finger psychology of Reverend Ike comes roaring in. He knew that your inner feeling of wealth must be matched by an outer bearing of dignity. You have to get out of the ghetto in your mind, yes, but you also have to stop acting like you still live there. How do you walk? Do you shuffle your feet like you're trying not to wake the landlord you're 2 months behind with? Or do you walk with your shoulders back and your head held high, like you own the very pavement you're walking on? Stop entering a room as if you're a bill collector that everyone was hoping wouldn't show up. Walk in like you're the one they've all been waiting for, the life of the party, the bearer of good news and fabulous ideas. Your body language is a prayer, so stop praying for crumbs. And how do you talk? Do you hem and haw? Do you pepper your requests with, "If it's not too much trouble," and "I'm so sorry to bother you"? Honey, stop. When you go to a restaurant, you don't apologize to the waiter for ordering a steak. You look at the menu, you decide what you want, and you state it clearly. The universe is a 5-star restaurant, and you are its most honored guest. Start placing your order with the authority of someone who knows they are worthy of receiving it. This isn't about arrogance. It's about congruence. It's about building a self-image that is in alignment with the spiritual wealth that is your birthright. The feeling of the wish fulfilled isn't a shy, timid little thing you hide in your heart. It's a bold, declarative energy. It has a swagger. It shines your shoes even when you're just going to the mailbox. It puts on the good perfume, not to impress anyone else, but because it feels delicious to smell like $1,000,000. You have to stop identifying with poverty. It is not cute. It is not noble. It is a shabby, second-hand coat that you've been wearing for so long you've forgotten it's not your skin. Take it off. Burn it. What's one little poverty habit you're ready to evict from your behavior today? Are you going to stop slouching? Are you going to start making eye contact? Tell me in the comments. I want to know what role you're finally stepping into. Because your posture has to cash the check that your imagination just wrote. You cannot expect a first-class destiny to arrive while you're still holding a ticket for the back of the bus. It's time to upgrade your ticket, darling, and it starts with how you carry yourself right this very second. And here comes the part where most people fall right off the horse. This is the moment that separates the tourists from the residents of wealth. You've done the work. You've revised the negative thoughts. You've walked with the posture of a monarch. You've felt the quiet thrill of abundance in your heart. You feel amazing for a solid 10 minutes. Then, you whip out your phone and check your banking app, as if a magical money fairy was supposed to make a direct deposit in that exact window of time. Nothing. You refresh your email, looking for a subject line that says, "Congratulations, you secretly inherited a duchy." Also nothing. And just like that, the doubt floods in. The cold, hard, familiar voice of your old reality sneers, "See, I told you. It was all just a silly game." This, my dear friend, is the great wobbly moment of truth. It is the most critical juncture in this entire process. You have moved out of the mental ghetto, but the physical evidence of the old address is still showing up in your mail. This is where the discipline of persistence becomes everything. This is where you must learn the art of denying the senses. Your 5 senses are the world's most convincing liars. They are professional gossips, only reporting on what has already happened. They are the lagging indicator, the rearview mirror, the stale news report of a reality that was created by your old way of thinking. You must treat their reports with a loving but firm indifference. Neville called this the crucial act of persistence in the assumption. Reverend Ike would just tell you to stop driving back through the ghetto to see if your old shack is still there. Why are you looking? You don't live there anymore. It's none of your business what's happening on that block. When your senses scream, "You're broke!" you must calmly and quietly reply, "That's old news. I'm not interested in reruns." Think of it this way. You've planted a seed of wealth in the fertile soil of your imagination. Your only job now is to keep it watered with faith. But what do? We get a shovel. We dig up the seed every 15 minutes to see if it's growing yet. Is it working? Do you see a root? Maybe I planted it wrong. And in doing so, we expose the delicate embryonic form to the harsh air of doubt and kill the very thing we want to bring to life. Stop digging up your seed. The time lag between your inner impression and your outer expression is not a test from God to see if you're worthy. It's a test of your faith in your own creative power. Your only job during this gestation period is to remain faithful to the unseen reality, to walk by faith and not by sight. Your persistence is the sunlight and water. Your frantic checking is the poison. Choose wisely. So we have our metaphysical map from Neville and our psychological jet fuel from Reverend Ike. Now it's time to put them together into your new secret weapon for prosperity. We're going to call this the prosperity pivot. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's your daily practice for escaping the mental ghetto for good. Here's how it works. Twice a day. Once in the morning and once before you sleep. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes. I don't want you to just think about money. I want you to feel the state of the person who already has it. What does security feel like in your chest? It feels like a deep, calm breath. What does freedom feel like in your shoulders? It feels like a release of tension you didn't even know you were holding. Imagine a pleasant, mundane scene from your wealthy life. Maybe you're paying a bill not with anxiety, but with a quiet sense of gratitude and ease. Feel the pen in your hand, feel the chair you're sitting in, feel the absolute normality of abundance. This is your mental diet. You are feeding your subconscious mind the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now here's the pivot. After a few minutes, open your eyes. Do not let that feeling go. This is crucial. That feeling of ease is not a fantasy to be left behind in your chair. It is the new you. Stand up and carry that feeling with you. Let it straighten your spine. Let it put a calm, knowing half smile on your face. Walk into the next room as the person you just were in your imagination. This is the Ike swagger. You are physically embodying the inner state you just cultivated. And now for the only rule of this game, and it's a non-negotiable one. You must stop performing what I call mental abortions. That's right. Every time you plant that seed of wealth in your imagination, and then, an hour later, dig it up with doubt by checking your bank account frantically, you are terminating your own creation. You wouldn't put a cake in the oven and then rip the door open every 30 seconds to see if it's a cake yet. You'd end up with a flat, gooey mess. Trust the process. Your only job is to keep the oven of your faith hot by remaining in your assumption. The war is over. The fight against lack was always a civil war, a battle waged inside your own magnificent imagination. And you just won. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are its cause. You are not begging a distant God for favors. You are the operant power that commands the flow of all creation through your own consciousness. Neville gave you the blueprint for the inner palace, and Ike gave you the keys to the front door and told you to walk in like you own the place. There is nothing left to fight, only a new state to occupy. If you are ready to stop being a tourist in the state of wealth and finally move in for good, then subscribe. We will master these unified teachings together, building a reality so solid that the old poverty thoughts can't even pay the rent to live in your head anymore. From this moment forward, let your one and only mental diet, your single, unwavering truth be this: I am so rich on the inside My reality has no choice but to pay me interest. I am the wealth mindset,